Hi there, how's it going? This is Ash from Page Profits. You already know that search happens to be the primary driver of traffic to your site. Search engines like Google and Bing tend to push the most number of visitors to your website. And this is the given, and that's the reason why SEO services are also that popular. Following them, you also have SEO tools that are also popular. Now, trying to get found on Google is important for a primary reason that when people look for something that's related to your business, they get to see these articles that show up right here on Google search. When they click, they get to that article and they end up reading. This opens up a window of opportunity for people to interact with your content. For that reason, when people start visiting your blog, is when you have all kinds of little call to actions that you have there. In several cases, it is usually to have people sign up something of value that you have to offer. So in my case here, that is designed to get people to sign up for my newsletter or to sign up for my marketing system. You can duplicate this particular CTA or call to action and add it anywhere inside your blog post as well. So you can add it multiple times inside your blog post. These call to actions are also called as lead generation elements on your website, which are absolutely necessary for you to start growing your email list and to ensure that you have a regular influx of customers, subscribers, and so on. Now, these calls to actions can be absolutely anything. You could also display a product here if you wanted to. This video, let's talk about how to create a basic call to action so that you can add it multiple times inside your WordPress blog post. Now, I'm assuming that you are publishing regularly because I use Divi, and you can get yourself a copy of Divi at pageprofits.com/Divi. We are going to use a plugin called Bloom by Divi. It comes packed with Divi. So you can use Bloom if you have access to Divi. So once you have Bloom, you need to click on opt-in forms, and this is the page that will show up. If you wanted to create a new opt-in, and in this case, let's talk about an opt-in that kind of works as a pop-up every time somebody visits your store, and you can also determine when that pop-up shows up when somebody is on your store or on your website. So let's create a new opt-in. Just click on new opt-in on the top right corner. The style of lead generation element that we're going to develop is going to be pop-up. So we're going to click on pop-up here. It'll ask you for an opt-in name. This particular opt-in name is not going to show up for your visitors when they visit. So I'm going to call it general site-wide and just leave it at that. I'm going to select an email provider. If you haven't selected email provider or if you haven't connected an email provider, Bloom will prompt you to connect. Let's say MailChimp or HubSpot or ConvertKit. In my case, I'm going to use ConvertKit, and I'm going to select an account and I'm going to choose an email list. I click on save and exit. Click on this little gear icon to start editing and creating your opt-in form. You get back to that form that you created, and on the left side panel you have access to design. If you click on design, so I have an opt-in title here, I have an opt-in message here. I'm going to leave it at default, but you can make it anything you want. I'm going to add an image orientation. So this pop-up is going to have an image, and you can choose how that image can show up. So you can have the image show up above text or right below the text or to the right of the text or to the left of the text. Let's take right of the text to begin with. To upload an image here, set as opt-in image. So that image is going to show up. I can select background color and I'm going to leave it as default. I can select a font here as well. How the form should be oriented. Should the form be on the bottom, on the right, or on the left? Let's take form on the bottom. Email text will say email. I would recommend be contextual when you are adding your button text. I'll leave most of these as default. You can even preview the form here after you're done with all of this. On the top right corner, there's this little eye icon that you can click on. If you do that, you get your pop-up, and this is how your pop-up will look like. Obviously, you have the liberty to design it the way you want. And then I'm going to go click on display settings. Now, this is where you determine exactly how it shows up, what kind of animation the pop-up might have, when it's supposed to display, and where it's supposed to display. We have it display only on homepage, for example. I can also have it trigger in a particular way. So if a visitor scrolls on my site around 50% down the page, then I might have my pop-up show up, and you can choose display once per session. After you're done with this, then you click on next. And when somebody signs up for your pop-up, ideally they're supposed to be led to a particular URL on your website or elsewhere. In case I'm going to redirect to a URL, and I'm going to give them a URL which is the usual default URL page that anybody who signs up as a lead on my website goes to. I highly recommend you also build a page like this, especially if you're using WordPress, and you can have them go here. If you don't have a page of that sort, then you can have them go back to your website directly. And the reason I do this is because I can also track this particular page on my analytics as a goal and save and exit, and you are done. Now, because this is a pop-up, it automatically supposed to show up on your website when you go there, especially when you go to the home page. Land on the home page. That particular pop-up is supposed to show up after 6 seconds. When it does, you know that that pop-up is working. Start generating leads depending on what you're giving away. And this is a pop-up, but what you're seeing here, but this is an inline form where it shows up inside a piece of content that you have published on your page. Now, this can show up on a page or this can show up on a blog post. You can also have opt-in forms coming in from the bottom right corner here. That's how you go about building opt-in forms using this specific option of using Bloom, which is a part of Divi. I hope that helps. If you like the video, please do like and share the video. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. This is Ash from Fetch Profits, signing out.